Okay. So Kelly's back here again this Thursday, and we're going to follow up from our treatment from last week. Let's just have a little bit of a recap before we do any of that. So Kelly presented with shoulder pain, left-hand shoulder pain. That's right, isn't it? Yep. Left-hand shoulder pain. And when we did forward flexion test and Gilliatt's test, we got a right-hand SI joint that was kind of fixing and not clearing, pain down the left erector spinae, and we're going to just start off by retesting that. Important to add before I continue much further is that before Kelly went home last week, I suggested sort of hands and knees, nice stretching and pulling off and bringing her kind of erector spinae, stretching her back, which I'll maybe demonstrate a bit later on. But I want to demonstrate now and just get straight into just retesting. So I'll move the camera around a bit and we'll just see how it starts to work and just by jiggling it around. Okay, let's just check that the camera's okay. That's brilliant. And just, have you got your sports bra? Yeah. Thanks, Kev. Okay, so let's start with just that normal forward flexion and checking of Gilliatt's test again. And just check that where we are. I'm going to start with Gilliatt's test. So let's come down onto the PSI and onto here. I'll just lift this leg up for me, please. Can you just take it up? Yeah, and drop it down again. And then back up again. Yeah. And then I'll move across to this one, and we'll just lift up this one. And back down again. And one more time. Okay, how does that feel?
A lot more easier.
It does feel easier, doesn't it? I'll just come back on this one again. This left one. Yeah, I don't think there's any real change in that. I think they're both maybe a little bit tighter on the right side, but not kind of massively kind of out of balance now, which is great. So let's just get your forward flexion for it. Let's see where we are. Yeah, see all this left side pain and discomfort through the spinal group there, and coming on to sort of QL-ish, I guess, certainly down onto the PFIs, and then just extend back for us. How does that? Yeah, does that feel okay? Apart from feeling tight, and just come back here. Okay, so nice extension. It seems square. Like last week, we had some rotation, but that seems fine. And then we'll just do side flexion, just come down. Yeah, really. And then, okay, and then the other way for us, please. Yeah, no problem with QL range of movement there. Facet joints closing down quite okay. That seems a good place. So I would say that from what I can see, spine here tight. I'm going to get you on the couch and just check the level of ASIS and just check how that looks. So we just move across and get you on the couch and let's just see how that looks. So come and allow your back for us, please. I'm going to take that out of the way, just let it flat for a minute. Just come in there. Let me just move the camera so we can see what's going on, so we can. Really just looking at come through onto ASI again, just seeing the level here. I'm going to just drop down this one here and just see how that feels. So down, how we sliding that way, and how we sliding this way. That one dropping that way. This one, which one feels sort of tighter to you in terms of
the left.
I think so. That one doesn't want to go quite so far, no. And then this one
feels a lot smoother.
Smoother, doesn't it? This right side feels smooth. That's good. So I'm just going to come under. So yeah, that's level. That's pretty good. So that's in terms of pelvic kind of adjustment from last week and getting that kind of rotation. and that SI joint on that left, on this right side, that seems to have held quite nicely. I quite like that. Quite like that. Staying at the top of the couch, I just want to see what. Let's just see. I like this camera moving stuff. It's quite cool. And then we come across, and I want to just have a look at ASIS's here and just get a sense of. Pretty level. Looks better. Looks better. The side's still a little bit protracted. I find myself wanting to start the treatment on this right side. So I think we'll kick off on that right side again. I want to kind of bring that back, and then we're focused really down on that left spine line. And there's some glute work to do. I think it'd be nice to free up that right hip and maybe do a bit of work on that glute. A moment of thought. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start here, start laying front, and we'll do the spine eye, and then it's quite nice to do some sideline work, and so we can really start to free up that shoulder. Really, that would be a nice one to pick up. Okay, you need to put the sleeves out of there, please. Nobody joining us tonight. We're on our own. That's interesting, isn't it? What do you think? Right, I'm going to pull across here because I think again it would be just nice to watch the treatment going on here. I might do my little camera down a bit. I love this. This is my new world. Brilliant. Why have I got it switched on? Do you know that feeling there? Did I turn on the volume or something like that? Is it a lot of people waiting elsewhere that I haven't told us about? That'd be quite cool. I sat on the salvation for ages and nothing happened.
I just want to check. So this is going to be their 10 seconds as well.
Feel that in the forearm.
Yeah.
Breath in for me. And if you breathe out, just let your shoulder drop. Can't swear we're being filmed.
I know.
You can't even
Can't see
glare
the
at me.
facial expression either, so it's
No. I've only got your eyes to judge. So, yeah. I smiled at somebody today and then he's glared at me.
I do that all day.
And it was really funny. It was really funny. There was this person said something silly and I just smiled and they looked at me like I was some kind of weirdo. It was great. And I had to explain that I did smile. Do you? Sorry. Happy with that?
That's the one we need to this position.
It's a little bit more ankle, yeah. Just
Okay.
across the top.
So, well, it's just you and me then, Kel. Okay. So locking down on the conical process and really looking at pec minus stretching and I suppose doing lats as well here, but just trying to really open up that joint. And anterior deltoid, as always, mustn't be forgotten. Such a key feature when it comes to kind of protraction and that locking, that medial rotation. It's a real feature. So you know that whole fascia link. And I'm just going to spend not much more time on this. I'm just going to come in. I just want to do subclavius. It's that sort of key little muscle that sits under the clavicle here. Such an important one to sort of to work on. And okay, so right, okay. Interesting, isn't it? It's interesting how you have one treatment and somehow the body sort of feels kind of I'm allowed in more.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's fascinating, isn't it? Because we didn't do much on here really. Most of last week was a lot of talk really, wasn't it? But you know, there was a lot of thinking, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Pondering. And it just amazes me how that whole idea that you can have sort of intention just there.
So is that the same that you found before?
Yeah.
And I think actually prior to the second baby, I actually think that you need to try to wait. So I was doing those kind of ones.
Yeah. I think doing the treatment works really well.
Just let that chest relax.
Yeah.
Did it melt? It does melt, doesn't it? So nice, isn't it? And I think that's the key for me, is that it isn't about brute strength and getting stuck in and it's
How do you do it when you have someone who just won't relax?
Oh yeah. I think we've always got a challenge, haven't we, when people can't relax, won't relax, are able to relax, or relaxing is a challenge. And it's about, I suppose, it's about how patient are you to have a conversation with them, a conversation with their bodies, and how patient are you to let the body kind of connect up, I suppose. I guess that's one. That's a bit of a clever answer, isn't it? But okay. Yeah, I don't know. That's what it feels like. You know, there's stuff there in bicep, and you know, we could keep nibbling away at it. But I quite like the idea of just leaving that to say hello. Yeah. I'm just going to fiddle around with the camera a little bit because I want to try and get some of these shots because I think it's really nice to don't often have a bit of opportunity to really watch kind of neck work. So I just want to And then I'll get hold of the forehead and just take it through this way. And I really like this move. So bring yourself right round, grab that neck. You want to get that real going. Take a breath in. And then as you breathe around, you can just pull the hip. I'll do the opposite here as well. Just takes the ram it around the back of the neck. Okay. The same on this side. Here.
The work on the
Well, it's mainly that.
Oh yes. I didn't have time to do this last week. This is exciting. This is relationship changing. This is where you get up and say, thanks, I'm off. Oh, yeah. Too much.
still really good.
Do they? Well, that's nice to hear.
Not doing that.
For one fault.
So what would be the cause of my forearm being quite tight?
Well, if you think of it all rather than in sections, see it as a kind of onesie.
Yeah.
I'm pulling up the onesie here.
Yeah.
So here's pulling. It's all one sheath, if you like. It just, your muscles come down here and just link through here, and the muscles come up here and link through there. So they're kind of all as one, if you look at them. So what will be the cause? Well, obviously these extensors here are all kind of this move, bringing your fingers back. But I think there's a real link. I want to, anterior deltoid comes through around, subclavius, delta. It's all kind of upper trap. It's all kind of all part of the same story. So I don't think it's starting to feel better. It feels better already.
Yeah.
And you're fit and strong, so the body's sort of like, oh, that's nice. And you can feel that already is sort of saying, thanks very much.
Yeah.
And I haven't done much really. I don't feel like I'm not working hard. I'm not breaking a sweat. I'm just sort of letting the body kind of say, really. And just take a nice breath in for me, and just as you breathe out, just about. I think if we come through here and start to really, that feels nice, doesn't it? Process. Not so much.
Not too much.
Sitting over here, something else we do on the other side there.
So just rotate your head left and right.
Okay. It's all.
Yeah.
As I come round, I can feel it, but it's not. That's fine.
Just go as far as it's actually. Don't come into anything that's above the street.
Just anything over 3 or 4, and then just say, ooh, back off. Nice slow breath in first. Lean out. Your way.
No, sorry, no. That's
It's a nice breath in. Let that shoulder drop. Pressing with the arm, just relax. So lie on that side.
Lay on this side.
Yes, please. Shift down the couch just a little bit before I go. Right, let's try and see if we can get the better camera position for this, because I think it's quite good to just working on pet minor now. I'm just trying to get through. So lower hand on the couch. That's all. Lower hand over breast tissue, and then that lower side. So come up here. Get this on the camera here, brilliant. So holding the scapula here, coming up behind, underneath pec major, sideline. So looking underneath pec major, very relaxing. And as I come underneath pec major, then I can sit down on the ribs and find pec minor, just to give us that kind of retraction that we're looking for. So this hand really guides around the scapula, where this hand sits underneath and finds the, just there. So they're quite close to the coracoid process there. How does that feel?
Okay.
Is that sore?
Not really.
Okay. So then just give us a nice breath in and just let the shoulder just drop. I'll do this on both sides. You're not actually too bad on this side this week, are you? So let's see if we can. Yeah, gone off?
Yeah.
Not too sore, is it?
No, it's okay.
It's quite nice. Quite like that. I'm aware I'm going to do it on the other side, it's sort of the more painful side, but I think I'll start off by face down and doing just warming up on that left-sided spine. So let's have you now round onto your tummy, please. How are you doing?
You too.
Yeah, yeah, you're good. Maybe you should introduce yourself. And you warm up.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so I'm just going to come back. You might want to just loosen your shorts, is that okay? Just so I can get on that. I want to do some work on that, both glutes actually. That seemed important this week, so where should I go? I'll bring the camera on this side for now. We can jiggle around with it in a minute, but there we go. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Whoops, sorry. Just work on my way up stuff first. Sure, it looks better, doesn't it? Well, you don't know. I'm telling you it does. I'm telling you it doesn't look better. I wasn't racing like
Okay, so you guys are you put on this cover this one here. Again, it's kind of like that middling around, so just like a wrist pencil, so you work it on the track and on the neck and see it.
So PSRS isn't just working around initially, just working around the iliac crest, along the glute max on the over the back generally.
So you're in charge of the here, and you did the work across the long shoulders.
That's cool.
Has it clearly fallen
On this side,
That's fine.
not quite so far, is it? Okay, so I'm going to just come down here and just take shorts out of the way for a minute and just press down so I can work on this glute and soften up. And I want to work on both tonight because I think it's quite important to work on, I want to get some balance between the two glutes given that the Gillick's test was negative and
you know, there's just tightness, but nothing. I want to work on this sort of right side before trying to release off that spinal group on the other side today. I think it's over a 3 or 4, just shout. Steady, just, you know, whether you like. So again, last time we came along here, the side of the sacrum was quite impacted and quite sore through the side of sacrum, which you can't see with the camera. You just pull that through and you can look at maybe the head down through the head. Yeah, that's a better camera move, I think. Yeah, so you can come in. So PSIS is coccyx to the edge of the sacrum, and just coming along the edge here, attachment side SI joint, but also glute max as it comes through. How does that feel this week? Not so intense. It feels sore, but not as intense as it was last week, which is great. So that's, you know, I think the stretches that I asked Kelly to do in terms of that hands and knees kind of prayer position, where you're stretching hands out in front, really helps and encourages that long kind of stretch down the spine, and particularly QL as well. You know, it really opens up. Yeah, not great, is it? Pretty sore there. There's your SI joint. So I'm just going to do a bit of deep frictions there, just try to release this off of it. And when you're ready, take a nice breath in and just try and let your glutes relax when it's possible. Oh, and just let that release off. Perfect.
Yeah, and I went in and obviously like can't properly there's a lot of women's health as well, which is really and
so sitting on a bit of piriformis there, just that where that comes out halfway along the SI joint, sorry, the edge of the sacrum off to the off to the greater trochanter. Just feel the edge of the piriformis just sitting there. So again, nice slow breath. Even when you're ready, Kelly, just let your glute, let that leg relax off down the leg. So when you relax the muscle, try and think of the muscle relaxing from my fingers. I think imagine that relaxing going down to your knee. So it's almost like laying it to release of it. And it releases off quite nicely. That feels pleasant. Just a little bit of coming in here to QL. I'm going to do more. See how QL feels when I drop into it. I think it's massively. Yeah. Not really, is it? The QL range of movement is really nice for you on both sides, and you don't get a sense of them kind of locking up. Or let's come up through there and whoops, knock the camera over in the process. Part of the journey. Yeah. It was pretty horrible. Just see if I can just release off. So mid-thoracic, fairly pretty fixed. So I'm going to just drop into there if I can. And again, you know, I like the model of locking in trigger point work possibly, or I don't know, just letting the tissue just melt and just move under my fingers.
Too small? Okay. Feels tight, but okay. That's okay. Feels quite nice. We're doing 20 to 8, so we've got a bit to do. So this side. Let's focus on the other one. So really now we're looking at the sphenoid and that's on this focus on this left side, and the rest of the treatment for me will be based on the left glute, spine. I want to do that pec minor on that side. So in a minute I'm going to move Kelly to being more sideline, but I think I can start off the treatment kind of sitting in this position. Okay, so not too bad. Not too bad actually in the glute, but more around the iliac crest through there. Yeah, more sort of glute max attachments. I'm coming to SI joint and just in here. Sorry? Yeah, a bit tender, yeah.
Yeah, no, I can't. Particularly just 4 or 5 hours waiting, leg across the seat. I only had an MRI to do.
So pushing down,
Just
slide
because
in.
it's like another few
So again, take that nice slow breath in and just let the muscle release through your glutes and down to your knee.
yeah, really loving life. This is really great. And then what I had an appointment in Gloucester because of the nerve with the neurologist. She did all the.
Too small.
My leg.
You feel it up while I'm listening.
And then she said,
So glute med release. Okay. So trigger point glute med and glute min, I guess, if I'm running through here. I'm fairly low down his iliac crest, so glute min really sitting here, strong medial rotator and adductor, feels pretty solid. So I'm going to sit here for a minute. You referring down your leg? Just going to sit on that.
I don't jump. Which has been really hard.
Yeah, it's really tight. Yeah, really tight, yeah. And it goes up into my arms as well. It's a little bit painful in my arms.
Let's just see what you
I get, yeah, it's a constant.
Yeah, start to go.
Yeah. Same here.
Okay.
It's really hard to pinpoint pain symptoms.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, good.
one thing.
Yes, because my market is going to be people who going through one, like, That's right. We happy.
Okay. This is just my night of the day. This is nasty when you're triggering off. I'm slightly higher now on glute med, I think. And when you trigger off these muscles, the referring discomfort down the leg can be quite intense. I'm using the supported thumb here, but I'm just trying to keep everything straight when you do this, straight down the thumb and down the arm.
not really interested in hearing. The last time I saw her, she broke down.
So nice big breath in for us, please, Kelly, and then just have a relax for your glutes up.
Yeah.
Just let that happen. Good. Good stuff. Nice to hear. Feels all right to me. I'll just do that. A little bit of that QR work again, just briefly before I pop you on your side. Yeah.
That was too much. Did you have to? Yeah, we actually, I do, because I was massaging this, yeah.
Too much? Okay.
Yeah, I just.
So just lift your chest off the couch and back down again. And then lift up again. Yeah. And lift up again. One more time.
So I do things like this.
So longissimus, it comes all the way down by the spine, comes all the way down to the coccyx. So I'm going to really work through where the PSI sits and down here. Just deep flexion over here.
It's like in sometimes it's in here. Sometimes it's also really alien at times. Sorry, I'm really used to describing what
So 7:45. What do I want to do? I want to make sure that I do some work on infraspinatus. I want to try and get the shoulder a bit freer. Although we're heading in the right direction here with upper trap, I think it's kind of interestingly, first time we saw Kelly, that left upper trap was so solid, and it feels better, doesn't it? Not great, but it certainly feels better. And it's interesting, we haven't really done much work on it. We just worked on the spine groups and got the pelvis a bit more stable. I'm going to work on just trying to retract the shoulder a bit. See what.
Yeah, so mine gets a bit more tender up in here. Most of it's like in just like in the other side, like in this bit here.
Which could be more to me,
There's the door.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, no, it's all buying into stuff is all included. Okay, so it's 3 years.
Better and better. Yeah.
Up to Christmas, is it? Yeah, open space.
Yeah, a little bit of, I'll do a little bit of trigger here, but I'm very keen to get Kelly on her side because I think that works much better. So, not too bad, is it? From where you have been with this, it's much better, isn't it? It's good. Okay.
When you had your transport in the matter, did they work down into the delta or is it down
Yeah. And then I want you laying on this side, please.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to pop up there because I think that's quite a good position to go. Yeah.
It's kind of like I understand the same thing. It's sort of, but it feels like a good kind of painting.
Just back in there.
You know when you get the muscles.
I'm going to just talk into
Yeah.
It's really interesting how you plan your treatments, isn't it? And how you go from one thing to another. And how much of that is mechanical in terms of thinking, well, that range of movement told me this, and this range of movement told me that, and this special test told me that. And then how much of it is based on your kind of feel for the tissue and your intuition, or what the hell is intuition? I don't know. You know, what feels right. What's happening? I don't know. It's an interesting one, and I think in time you kind of get to a place where you do have a feel. You do kind of. I like that model of being able to get to a place and thinking, I just feel like I've done enough here. I don't want to do anymore. It doesn't feel like I need to. I quite like that model. I'm just going to bring the hand over the top of the couch there. So now I'm sort of opening up through here. I'm just kind of almost mimicking the stroke, really, the crawl. Is that reasonable? It's not bad, is it? And just want to kind of just see what happens when the tissue, when you're in that place, and what is the stuff that's grabbing that I can to work with. That whole medial border of the scapula is just lovely, and I think your arm is just built for this job. Feels good, isn't it? Is that too sore? Tender, but so lateral border of the scapula, long head of the tricep, real trigger point. Stay there and just let it happen. And let you take a breath in. And then client just breathes in and breathes out, and you just let that stretch. And I'm going to follow this through, and hopefully, if I don't want to squash your head. So it feels uncomfortable with your arm squashing your leg, just shout and I can back off. But just now, really just going along the whole length of the tricep down to the elbow. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, nice. Don't like that much, does it? That position, and then drop my hand through here again, Coach, or bear with
worked on getting under pec major. So I want to come in here. Okay, so I'll just hold the scapula, just pull the tissue away, just come under pec, here's pec major. So I'm coming underneath that tissue, just sitting on that shoulder, clunking away, and I'm just moving and drop onto pec major. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I'm just sitting on the tendon of pec minor, right up by the coracoid process, and just rocking backwards and forwards. Take a breath in for me. And as you breathe out, just let that go. Oh. Yeah, I'm right on that tendon, and it's, yeah. So when you're ready, take a breath in and just try and sigh in the shoulder. Yeah, good. I'll stay here for a minute. It might take a minute or two to melt. Tough one to release this. And yeah, beginning to happen.
Yeah.
So trigger point, releasing tendon, muscle, fibre, release. Brilliant for this. So you can really come in here. What I like about this move is that I can move the scapula around, stretching the pec minor. I can contract it and then stretch it, and then contract it and then stretch it. It really takes me to a nice movement of the shoulder. And with time, you know, just working with Kelly, you can see that she's kind of saying, okay, I get a feel of what you want to do, and I can just let you do that, and that's nice. And the clunking reduces.
Yeah.
One there, is it all right? So now really up on the coracoid process. You understand it? Nasty. And then back forwards. Like it. Clunk. So a real nice way of working on pec minor. Quite kind of, you know, underneath the pec, you really kind of doing your stuff. It's good. Yeah, releasing off. Okay, I'm going to come out of there. Always careful when you do this work. You do mark up with something that you can't help it. I've got no nails, but I've got marks here. Be careful. Hand on the back of the scapula, shoulder blade, just pull you around so you can see what I'm doing there. So here we go. So inferior angle of the scapula here, you know, that inferior lateral border, coming through, just holding underneath that, pushing Kelly forward there, and pulling her back. That's the stretch for pec minor. So I'm going to take her forward, put the shoulders push into my head. So you protract your shoulder. So you take it forward, push into my head. So you're doing very shrugging your shoulder. Set up the border, do the ribs, push into my head. Yeah, perfect. So that's contracting pec minor. And then relax, take a nice breath in. And as you breathe out, you're going to just so hold on to the ribs and pull back. Nice stretch. One more time, so push into me. Yeah, perfect. And then relax, and pull back. Yeah. And then the last thing we're going to do is the head, hand behind the back of the head. Just holding the head. And do that kind of pushing and shoving back, pushing the scapula. This is so important when you do this move to put the scapula back where it belongs to be, or it should be. So this hand really shoves in quite firm down on the scapula, and then this hand can pull through. So you're doing this real pushing through of the scapula. MET works so nicely here, where you can do it for a few minutes and then get the person to fire into my fingers. 2,
5 and then relax, take a breath in, and then release it. I'm not sure the camera's such a great move for that. Just move it over here. Get a better move, better picture. Holding and scuffling down, pulling back. So just pushing to my hands. And then relax, and take a breath in, and then release.
So like with some stretching and maybe concentrating on posture, I think that will naturally kind of be.
And then one more time.
But yeah, just being more aware of the position. Standing back, chest out. Kind of standing, walking towards.
One more time.
So yeah, it's also like position it's so much extra weight towards the body. You know, inches in the head. So it's just being more aware of your posture.
So interesting.
I think. A little bit of release work for here, but just comes through.
No, you don't have to be supposed to really well massive. I mean, we get people coming who just want to have like a massive although training sports are your clients are, what your goals are, and the gap treatment if necessary, if it's dealing with an injury or if it's just
Okay, so I think we're
massive, we'll just change the shoulders, keep coming to the shoulders and back and neck. Because of that, go back to the shoulders.
Yeah, back laying on your back.
Yeah,
Just going to take the pin of that. Okay, so let's bring that if the traction feels better. I think that's going to do us for this week. Let's see, bring the camera up. I'm quite happy with that. I'm quite happy with the treatment of that. And next week we'll just see how that treatment's gone and we'll review it. Range of movement again, obviously. And your third treatment in, I would want to see some considerable change. So, so you want it
if you can. Yeah, now you can focus on this.